Today we are going to be working on literal equations and dimensional analysis. There are going to be a lot of variables in this video, so please do not be afraid. So I have two vocabulary terms for you. We have literal equations and we have dimensional analysis. So, what is a literal equation? A literal equation is a formula or an equation that involves several variables. So, for example, an area of a circle equals A equals pi r squared. So this one has two variables. A for what the area is, r is for the radius. So these are just different formulas. Dimensional analysis is the process of carrying units through a problem. So if we have a problem where we're given something that is feet per second, and we want to change it to miles per hour. That's what dimensional analysis is. We're going to carry the units through a problem, and we're going to be changing the units. So now we're going to solve for a specific value. So we have our equation. We have 4m minus 3n is equal to 8. And what they want us to do, they want us to solve for m. They want us to solve for this variable right here. So what they're saying is they want it to look like m is equal to what? So if we have 4m minus 3n, we want to move everything. This is like a two-step equation. Move everything that's not directly attached to the m first. So if we have a minus 3n, we want to move it over to the right. The opposite of a minus 3n is plus 3n. So the 3n's cancel out on the left. All that we have on the left now is 4m is equal to 8 plus 3n. And now, if we just want m by itself, this is 4 times n, so the opposite of multiplication is division. So we would divide by 4 on both sides. So the 4's cancel out, and all that we have left is m is equal to 8 plus 3n divided by 4. Alright, so I'm okay with you leaving this as m is equal to 8 plus 3n because we have what m is, but we could simplify it a little bit further. If we think, what is 8 divided by 4? That would be 2. And then if we have 3 divided by 4, we could just rewrite that as a fraction. So that would also equal 2 plus 3/4 n. Both of these are the same exact thing. 8 plus 3n divided by 4 and 2 plus 3/4 n. So now what I want you to do, I want you to pause the video, try to solve this one, and unpause the video when you're ready to see what I've done. Alright, so we have k minus 2 divided by 5 is equal to 11x, and I want you to solve for k. So we are solving for this variable. So what we're going to do, since we want to solve for k, and this 5 is the constant that's further away from the k, this is divided by 5. So what we could do to cross this 5 out is to multiply by 5 on both sides. So the 5's cancel out, and all that we have left on the left side is k minus 2 is equal to, so what is 11x times 5? So the 5 times 11 is 55, and you have to bring along the x, so it's 55x. Now, if we have k minus 2, the opposite of minus 2 is plus 2, So we can cancel these out. Now all that we have left on the left side is k. On the right side, it's 55x plus 2. This is your final answer. K is equal to 55x plus 2. So now we're going to be focusing on literal equations. This equation that we have here, this is volume is equal to pi times radius squared times h. This equation is how you find the volume of a cylinder. But what I want to do now is I want to solve for h. So I want to solve for this variable. So if we want h by itself, this is pi times r squared times h. So if this is pi times r squared times h, the opposite of multiplication is division. And if we want to keep h here, if we divide by pi r squared, then we'd have to divide by pi r squared over to the left. So these pi's cancel out, these r squares cancel out, and all that we have left on the right side is our h. So h is equal to v divided by pi r squared. So this is our final answer. So now I want you to do it. I want you to pause the video, solve for r in this equation. This is c is equal to 2 pi r. Pause the video, unpause the video when you're ready to see what I've done. Alright, so if we have c is equal to 2 pi r, this is the formula that you would solve for the circumference of a circle. The circumference of a circle is everything is the length that goes around the circle. That's what the circumference is. So we're trying to solve for r. We're solving for this variable. So if we have c is equal to 2 pi r, all that we would have to do, this is the 2 times pi times r, the opposite of multiplication is division. So we would just have to divide by 2 pi. And we would divide by 2 pi on the left side too. So the 2's cancel out, pi's cancel out, and all that we have left on the right side is our r. So that is all we have on the right is r, and on the left side we would have c is divided by 2 pi. So this is our final answer. So now let's focus on a little bit of dimensional analysis. Dimensional analysis, we're going to be working with a little bit of word problems and setting up ratios. So let's look at our first word problem. We have a car travels 100 feet in 2.8 seconds. How fast is that in miles per hour? Round to the nearest whole number. So first let's go in and underline all the information that we need. So the car is traveling 100 feet in 2.8 seconds, and then they want us to find how fast is that in miles per hour. So the first thing we could do, we could write a ratio with the 100 feet in 2.8 seconds. So if we have 100 feet in 2.8 seconds, it is so important that you write down all of your units. You have to write your units. So when we are multiplying through, we want to end up, at the end, we want to end up with miles per hour. So if we go, what we have to do, we have to go directly diagonal. How many feet are in 1 mile? So I need to know how many feet are in 1 mile. If you need some help, I believe that there is some in the back of your book. It tells you the different measurements. So in 1 mile, there are 5,280 feet. So in 1 mile, 5,280 feet. When we do this, the feet cross out, but they have to be diagonally from each other. So the feet cross out, and all that we're left with is miles. So the miles are there. So now we have to move. If we've crossed out the feet, then we have to change the seconds into hours. So seconds have to be diagonal from each other as well. And we're changing them into hours. So how many seconds are in 1 hour? We know that 60 seconds are in 1 minute, and there are 60 minutes in 1 hour, so we would have to multiply 60 times 60, and we would get 3,600 seconds. So the seconds cancel out, and all that we're left with is on the top are miles, and on the bottom are hours. So all we have to do is multiply straight across. So 100 times 1 times 3,600 is equal to 3600, so 360,000. And if you multiply straight across in the denominator, 2.8 times 5,280, that is equal to 14,784. If we divide that through, if we round it to the nearest whole number, 360,000 divided by 14,784 is equal to about 24 miles per 1 hour. So 24 miles per hour. Alright, so now what I want you to do, I want you to pause the video and unpause the video when you're finished with this problem and when you're ready to see what I've done. Alright, so Brad has found a rear video game on eBay, and it's priced for 35 Australian dollars. If the exchange rate is $1 United States is equal to $1.24 Australian, I want to find the cost of the game in US dollars, and I need to round to the nearest cent. So what we start off with is our 35 Australian dollars. So I'm going to make AUS, because that is the abbreviation for Australian. So I'm going to put that just 35 over 1. So now we have our exchange rate of $1 US is equal to $1.24 of Australian. So what we want to end up with is we want US dollars on top. So if we have Australian money on the bottom, we want to end up with USA money. Remember, diagonally, these have to cross out. So Australia money with Australian money. So if we have $1 for US is 124 Australian, $1 US is $1.24 Australian. So the Australians cancel out, and all that we have left is the US currency. So if we want to multiply straight across, we have $35 over $1.24. If we divide that through with 35 divided by $1.24, if we round to the nearest cent, that is going to equal $28.23 US. So that is the final answer.